to gastrointestinal physiology in relation to Prakriti. I would like to thank Sri Sarvanand Sonowal sir, Honorable Cabinet Minister, Padam Shri Shri Vaidya Rajesh Koteja sir, Honorable Secretary Ministry of Ayush, Government of India, Professor Sanjeev Sharma sir, Vice Chancellor NIA Deemed to be University, for giving us this opportunity. Once again, a warm welcome to our HOD sir, Dr. C.R. Yadav sir, Dr. Prasad sir, Dr. Abhilash sir, Dr. Rasmi ji, Dr. Sharika ji, respected teachers and dear students. I would like to take permission to start this program from HOD sir.
Yes.
Thank you, sir. Now I request to our HOD sir, Dr. C.R. Yadav sir, Dean Research, for welcome speech. Over to you, sir.
Okay. Thank you so much, Bhanuji. Namaskar. Am I audible to all?
Yes, sir, audible.
Okay. Thank you, sir. Respected speaker of this event, Dr. Abhilash ji, my worthy colleagues, Dr. Mahendra Prasad ji, Dr. Sarika ji, Bhanu ji, and Dr. Rasmi ji, and dear scholars, PG, PhD scholars. First of all, on the behalf of the HOD of this department, I welcome all of you. So before moving for the formal welcome, I would like to extend a heartfelt gratitude to the entire ministry and especially for the Vice Chancellor and the Registrar of this university for providing us an opportunity to explore these kind of important concept in the different corner of the country. And we are very happy that today we have Dr. Abhilash. He is a very intellectual and visionary person, and he has a great command on the concept of Prakriti. So first of all, Abhilash sir, I am welcoming you in this session, and along with this, I welcome all the colleague member and the scholars. So thanks a lot for giving me the opportunity to welcome this worthy session. It's all from my side. Now it's over to you, Dr. Bhanu Pratap ji.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much, sir, for your blessing. I would like to invite Dr. Sarika ji, Assistant Professor, KRIYA SHARIR Department, NIA Deemed to be University, to tell about KRIYA SHARIR Department in NIA. Over to you, ma'am.
Sarika ji.
Within 5 minutes, ma'am, join us. Within 2 minutes, ma'am.
So before she join, I would like to take the opportunity what we are doing in this department. She will explain in a detailed way. Actually, we are working on to develop a advanced human physiology lab. By that we can explore our concept on a modern view. So there are so many instruments has been installed, and we are working on that, and we are generating a short kind of data. By that we can go for the validation process of our Ayurvedic concepts. And I am very happy that my team, including Mahendra ji and Sarika ji. Now Sarika ji is there. So now it's over to you, Sarika ji. Unmute.
Thank you very much, sir. A very good afternoon to all of you. Myself, Dr. Sarika Yadav. I am going to present or represent my department on behalf of whole department. I will be sharing my screen.
आप मोबाइल अपना रोटेशन चेंज करो, फोटो आप
Am I visible to all of you? My screen is visible?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Your slides are visible.
Okay, thank you, Dr. Bhanu. First of all, I would like to take this chance to welcome you all in this webinar. We are Department of KRIYA SHARIR NIA. About us, our department has been established in 1946 as Sharir Department, and our first HOD was B.N. Sharma sir in 1988, and then post-graduation in our department started as early as in 1991, and then PhD program also was started in our department since 2004.
एक मिनट सारिका जी,
Yes sir, yes.
मनोज पांचाल जी,
और scholars are
मनोज पांचाल जी म्यूट कर लीजिए, प्लीज म्यूट कर लीजिए,
please, all scholars are
थोड़ा सा डेकोरम मेंटेन करें प्लीज. प्रोसीड सारिका जी, प्रोसीड. सारिका जी,
ma'am, unmute yourself.
अनम्यूट करिए.
Yes, sir. Yes. Yes, sir. Sorry for the interruption again. Now, seeing about the journey of our department with eminent scholars like Professor B.N. Sharma sir, Dr. Shri Krishna Sharma sir, Professor Mahendra Singh Meena sir, Dr. Chhaju Ram Yadav sir. In between, from 2015 to 2020, we were having as our HOD, Professor Om Prakash Dadij, and now our department is growing well under the guidance and leadership of Dr. Chhaju Ram Yadav sir. Vision of our department is actions without vision is only passing time. Vision without action is merely daydreaming, but vision with action can change the world. So our department is very keen in executing our dream visions. So talking about the vision of the department, it is to be a role model department and a center of excellence in the field of KRIYA SHARIR and set highest quality standards of education, patient care and research through Ayurveda for the benefit of Ayurveda scholars and humanity. Various participations. Our department is successfully running various programs like PhD. There are more than 2 scholars at a time for PhD, including teacher candidates also. Then MD programs. We are having 10 seats per year, including economical vicar section also. Other programs run by the department are BMS, DNP, and certificate course for Panchkarma technicians. And then value-added courses like understanding of SAR Pariksha. And right now we are also coordinating the assessment of Prakriti certificate course under the Central Service Sector Scheme of Ayush Ministry. There are 2 batches which are running right now. Talking about the infrastructure of the department, we are having a very well-equipped human physiology lab, which is having very efficient machinery, which is latest versions like 3D DXA machine for the PMD examinations. Then we are having EEG machines, ECG machines, EMG machines, and perimetry. And all these machines are working, and we are running various projects by these machineries, or including human physiology lab with relation in Ayurveda, like Prakriti and nerve conduction velocities, like Prakriti patterns, various EEG wave patterns with Prakriti, and cardiovascular function assessment with Prakriti. Then we are having virtual reality lab. More than 90 participants have been benefited and educated through this virtual reality lab tool. And right now, this virtual reality lab is being presented in the Ayush Expo, Vigyanam Sarvatra Pujyate in Delhi. And there are also various school participants and other participants which are getting benefited by this virtual reality lab. Then we are also having a very well-equipped hematology and urine examination lab and equipped histology lab as well. Then this is our seminar hall, a very neat and clean sitting arrangement for students, and very well-equipped departmental library, which is having more than 600 books. Various publications from the departments, more than 7 books have been published by the departmental faculties, and publications are more than 264 or maybe more number. Awards and honors. Various awards have been received by the faculty and the students of the department, like Letter of Excellence, Best Thesis Award, Ayurveda Award, Yogata Praman Patra. Recently, our scholar has received Atreya Seva Sansthan from Balangir. Likewise, Himalaya Jivak Award, Best Presentation Award, Best Prize in Sloka Recitation Competition. Activity-based learning. Our department primarily focuses on activity-based learning. Students are taught by doing or demonstrating various things like effect of cardiovascular system, effect of posture, exercise, various pranayam, on various physiological functions like blood pressure, respiratory examinations, and so on. These are few just glimpses of various examples, but like this, we take interest in teaching through doing things. So demonstration as well as doing is inculcated in the teaching process. Our department is also running very successfully OPDs in NIA Arogya Shala, OPD number 3, which is skin care unit, specifically from Monday to Thursday, as well as we are participating in patient care in the extension of the department, NIA's hospital, Bombay Wala Arogya Shala. Their OPD number 6 is run by our department every Monday and Wednesday. These are few glimpses of the success stories of various skin elements treated by our faculties, specifically skin elements. Various procedures like Jaloka, Charan and Alabu unit are also run by the department, and we are taking successful help by these procedures for treating skin elements. Then best practices of the department. Research, if we are talking about best practices of department which are research centering, like development and validation of objective criteria of various fundamental concepts of KRIYA SHARIR. And we have already held 5 workshops till now in this sequence, like National Workshop on Development and Validation of Assessment Criteria of Rukshadi Guna of Vaat in 2013, then Ushnadi Guna of Pitta in 2018, Snigdadi Guna of Kaph 2019, SAR Pariksha 2019, then Assessment Criteria of Vyadik Shmatra 2020, and we have very successfully completed our CME program also. These are few glimpses of these workshops. Then in last year itself, we have successfully organized with Ayush Ministry and RAB 6-day CME programs, Sharir Vichayam, from 20th September to 25th September 2021 for the teachers of Sharir Kriya. And in addition to that, we have also organized a webinar for better understanding of advancements in physiology. We held a national webinar titled The Eminence of Histology in KRIYA SHARIR, so that we know both these things go in hand. So we have also focusing on those areas of KRIYA SHARIR also. These are few coverages of CME. This was the media coverage of our CME, very well covered in media, in print media as well as electronic media. and on TV platforms also. Our CME was covered very well. Then extracurricular activities. Our department is successfully running very unique ideas like book donation campaign. On each and every birthday or any other celebration of scholars as well as faculty, we run a campaign of book donation. We have got more than 100 books in CME, and right now almost 70 books have been donated by the scholars on various occasions like birthday celebrations, on synopsis submission, on thesis submission. We have received more than 70 books. I am having the list of all the donors in my hand, like Dr. Mahendra Prasad sir. First of all, he has donated 2 books. Then on Guru Purnima, various books have been donated to the department. Books by Dr. Guteri, more than 5 books. Then C.R. Yadav sir has also donated 3-4 books on Teachers' Day itself. And the list is very long, so I will be saying that each and every person in our department is participating very proactively in this book donation campaign. And everyone is very much appreciating, and this book donation campaign also got media coverage also. And our department is also running one plant, one scholar campaign. Each and every individual, including faculty, is having their own plants, and they are taking care of their own plants with their names tagged on these plants. That's all about our department. Thank you very much for giving me this opportunity to share my views with you all.
Thank you, Dr. Sarika ji. Thank you so much. Now we proceed to next stage. A special welcome to our guest speaker, Dr. Abhilash M. sir. Namaskar, sir. Currently, he is working as assistant professor at KRIYA SHARIR department in Government Ayurveda College, Kannur. He has teaching experience of 13 years. He has done his BMS from Calicut University, Kerala in year 2003. Then done his PMD in KRIYA SHARIR from Kannur University, Kerala in year 2007. He is doing PhD from Kerala University of Health Science. He has published more than 14 papers in scientific journals and also has written more than 7 books. He has been awarded by many awards. Now I will have my words, and without further delay, I would like to invite our Chief Speaker, Dr. Abhilash sir. Over to you, sir.
Good afternoon to all. Am I audible?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yes, you are.
Okay. I would like to thank the entire team, KRIYA SHARIR NIA, for giving me the opportunity. Let me directly go to the topic.
Yes, sir.
Okay, let me share the screen.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Your slides are visible, sir.
Okay, visible. Okay.
Yes.
Okay, so the concept of Agni with special reference to gastrointestinal physiology and Prakriti. So this topic is something related to both Agni and Prakriti. Both of them are currently being given more importance when it comes to the practice of Ayurveda. So my contents of my presentation, I would like to explain things in this order. First, the concept and application of Agni. Then the physiology of Agni explained. Then what are the lacunae, which are the lacunae in this concept in the current scenario, and how we can fill these lacunae. Then the use of Snehapana as a tool for Agni assessment. Then what is the impact of Panchakarma and other medications on the status of Agni, and some of the recent developments regarding this area of gut physiology and Agni. Then the connection between Agni and Prakriti. Then finally Agni as a tool in personalized medicine. So these are the contents of my presentation. So I will be arranging these areas into main 3 layers. First one is the Agni concept, then second one is application, and third one is advancements. So in the concept of Agni part, I would like to explain the knowledge and the expand the knowledge, and finally we'll add some modern interpretations to the concept of Agni. Then in the application level, the diagnostic and prognostic, and also the therapeutic application of Agni. Then in the advancements area, some of the newer techniques and new solutions, and what will be or what can be the future of Ayurveda. These things will be explained. So the concept of Agni means something, if whatever may be the thing that is coming to our body in the form of food, it has to pass the bridge of Agni, then only it can be added to the added as a part of the body. So it is the first barrier or first virtual barrier in the construction of our body. Or body identifies something as its part in the first glance through the eyes of Agni. So Agni is very much important as far as the passage to the human body. So in this broad spectrum, we can include many of the digestive and metabolic aspects inside the human body. Not only digestive and metabolic activities, but also the endocrine control is there. The immunological aspects are there, because the pathogens also enter through this pathway. So and the gut physiology is very much important in identifying the pathogens and permitting or not permitting the pathogens, like that. So not only endocrine and immunology, all other systems have some connections with this concept of Agni. So this is the broad concept of Agni. And in the concept area, we can first identify what is actually Agni, or what are the domains of Agni, and how does it vary in normal conditions, and how it can be studied. Then why modern interpretations are needed. It's very much important. Why means we can study the concepts related to Agni, its various aspects and all. But what is the relevance of modern interpretations? What is the importance of understanding the modern physiology, and how far we need to assimilate these concepts from modern physiology? This is very much important. So first of all, I would like to say a few words from my teacher, Dr. C.R. Agnivesh. This week is the death anniversary of Dr. C.R. Agnivesh. So he was used to say these words: if you have a doubt in Ashtanga Hridaya, means we people in Kerala largely follow Ashtanga Hridaya. So he's saying that if we are having a doubt in some saying of Ashtanga Hridaya, then it is meaningless to go back to some older texts. You have to progress, or you have to consider the adaptations or newer versions from the modern textbooks like Gayton or Harrison's. So this is the sayings of our teacher, and he has written one book known as Ayurveda Padartha Vijnanam. It explains many things in the philosophical background. It's a very very Ayurvedic view of the Padartha Vijnana. It's Padartha Vijnana and is explained in an Ayurvedic manner in this book. So this is the use of adding the modern knowledge into the Ayurvedic wisdom. So if we consider things in a intellectual way, we can add we can incorporate the modern findings into the theory of Ayurveda. So there is a common saying that Ayurveda and modern are entirely different. One system follows the reductionism approach, Ayurveda follows the holistic approach, like that. It is true, but there is some similarity in between, or there are some connections in between. See, we are in reductionist approach, whatever may be the thing, it is analyzing one by one, or it's analyzing it in a micro manner, or analyzing by dividing it into many parts, like viewing in a telescope or viewing in a microscope. We are analyzing things in a focused manner. So in a holistic view, we are viewing things as a whole. So this is the basic difference between reductionism and holism. But while viewing things in a reductionist way, if we keep the actual scene in our mind, then the holistic approach can include the reductionism also. So actually the holistic approach should include every aspects, including the reductionism. So this is what I mean to say. We can accommodate any knowledge, whatever may be the ultra modern advancements into the theory of Ayurveda, or to develop the theory of Ayurveda, we can add these things, provided we understand the Ayurvedic concepts and what are the lacunae in that concept, analyze them in the historical background, and accommodate the newer adaptations or newer advancements, so that the theory gets updated. So this is the use of Ayurveda, modern concepts in the understanding and application of Ayurveda. See, one more example is there. What is the relevance of physiology, the concept of Agni in treatment, particularly the concept of Agni, because there is a common pattern in the disease process. Some external cause will be there. It will be acting upon the internal cause, and it will change some of the body events, and will ultimately lead to a disease. So generally the modern medicine will be targeting on the external cause to cure the disease. And Ayurveda is mainly focusing on the internal cause and the interaction between the internal cause and the body, termed as dosha, dhadumala, to cure the disease. So it is very much important. So this is nothing but the physiology as per Ayurveda. So, and Agni is the core concept in that physiology. So Ayurveda, as far as Ayurveda is concerned, the physiology and the concept of Agni is very much important while dealing with any disease. Okay, so what is the essence of the concept of Agni? Agni can be applied to the concepts of the process of Ahara Paga, and there is similarity and dissimilarities between Agni and Pitta, and also it has some relations with other doshas, dhadus and malas. So these three put together can form the entire concept of Agni. Then if we can add or we can incorporate the gastrointestinal physiology into that concepts, so that a better understanding, particularly having a clinical intention. If you are having a clinical intention, if you want to upgrade the clinical diagnostic settings or therapeutic settings, whatever may be, you have to incorporate many modern physiological principles into this theory of Ayurveda. Then only you can get standards for diagnosis, assessment and treatment. So the concept of Agni. I can divide this concept of Agni into two areas. One is the philosophical background. The concept of Agni is evolved from some of the philosophical areas like the Sankhya, Vaisheshika concepts. So there is a definite origin and evolution of this concept, and it used some of the allied sciences like these darshanas of ancient times for the development of this concept. So you can see these areas in the Padartha Vijnana textbooks or the darshanas. And as far as the physiological understanding is concerned, this theory and application is further developed in physiology or in Ayurveda by incorporating the contemporary sciences, or during the medieval period, some of the aspects of Greek medicine or something was added to this concept. The Saushadhis were developed. All these were additions during the medieval periods. So likewise, the physiological concepts were also developing. Unfortunately, it is not that much developing during the last or 2-3 centuries. So the physiological understanding is very much important, or we have to incorporate the ultra-modern physiological advancements into this scenario, so that the concept gets updated and it is ready to use. It is very much beneficial to the patients, to the general public, and to the entire world. So what are the relation between how the concept of Ahara or the reactions of Grahani, reactions of Agni is related with Ahara, and what are the relations between the intake of Ahara and the response from Agni and its relation with body and mind. So we will analyze the type of Ahara consumed will be acted upon by the type of Agni or present in that individual, and that Agni will digest the food substances and make the nutrients part of the body, and the ultimate part of the body, ultimate part of the nutrition will be changed to the area of mind, or it will be passed on to the area of mind as per the Ayurvedic concepts. And as per this mind's preferences, again this individual will be taking more ahara. So the preference of ahara, the person's preference for ahara is developed from his psychological intentions, and ultimately this ahara he is consuming is acting upon, or is having a role in defining what will be his preferences later. So this is the cyclical process. Ahara is related with Agni, Agni is related with body, and body is related to, or body is ultimately passed on to the area of mind, and mind decides which ahara to select. And what is Agni, and where it acts, why it acts, and how does. So generally Agni is something that selects what body prefers, or the Agni is something is designed so that Agni of a particular individual is designed in a way that it can assimilate substances which are suitable for his body. See, there are different types of Agni, or different states of Agni, like Manda, Vishama, Tikshna. So these states have a role or connection with the Prakriti of the individual. See, Kapha Prakriti, the individual will be having Manda Agni, means whatever Agni Deepana Aushadas you are giving to that person, his Agni will not be going beyond some level. So he is having a general tendency to have mild or Manda type of Agni. So his body preference will be depending upon that type of Agni. So ultimately Agni prefers what the body, what suits for his body. And also it is selected based upon its Bhuta predominance. The Bhuta predominance of the food items will be based upon his intentions regarding his Prakriti. Again, this situation, it's situated in between Amashya and Pakvashya. The main seat of Agni, or the primary seat of Agni, is between Amashya and Pakvashya, and it is situated, or it acts for better nourishment. If Agni is not functioning properly, you will not get enough nourishment, or you will not be getting the actual things you want. And it acts by bridging between the food and the body, or Agni is the bridge between food and the body, and whatever things that pass the bridge of Agni, it only reaches the individual's body and will be added to the dhadus and to his srodhas, like that. So Agni is this is the concept of Agni, and the importance of Agni is depicted in the saying that Kayasya Andaragni Chikitsa, the definition of Kaya Chikitsa. So many concepts are there in Ayurveda. Anything can be used to define the general medicine. What is general medicine in Ayurveda? See, the majority of diseases are due to Vata, and Vata rogas are the major cases that come to our hospitals. So Acharya can have defined Kaya Chikitsa as the Chikitsa of Vata, but the definition, the ultimate definition leads to Kayasya Andaragni Chikitsa. The treatment is for Agni, because only by treating Agni, or only by passing the barrier of Agni, something can reach to the body, something can reach to the dhadus, or something can cure the vitiation of doshas. So the understanding and application of this core concept of Agni is very much important, and it is the first medicine-body interface. So you may have selected a better medicine, you may have selected the most apt medicine for that particular dhatu involvement, or a particular dosha stage, but whether this medicine is able to pass this bridge of Agni, it is very much important. If it cannot pass this bridge, then what is the use of taking the apt medicine? So the status of Agni is that much important. Then so that the primary thing to consider in decision making, or in making a decision regarding the apt medication, it should be Agni, whether there is Ama or not, whether what is the status of Agni, what is the actual status of Agni, how much, what type of drugs can be assimilated by this individual's Agni, like that. And this habit or this property can be more or less predicted from the Prakriti of the individual, because Prakriti is inclusive of all these concepts, and the digestive activity, the Dhadukni levels activities, all these are included in the Prakriti concept. So by understanding Prakriti, you can select, or you can understand the Agni level of the individual. Okay, then there are 3 types of Agni. There are 13 types, 13 subtypes are there. Jadragni, Dhatugni and Bhutagni, 3 major types are there. And among Dhatugnis, 7 are there, and among Bhutagnis, 5 are there. Total 13 subtypes are there. So the Jadragni is the major form. It is the controller Agni. It controls all the other types of Agni, and it is the major gateway to your body. It is basically, it is Adrava.
Abhilash sir?
Yes, sir.
So you are not audible, sir.
Sir? Not audible?
No, sir, audible.
Okay.
Okay, sir, continue, please.
Okay. Okay, so any issues there regarding speed or something?
No, sir, okay, fine.
Okay.
Yes. Okay, sir, okay.
Okay, you can tell, sir.
No, sir, please continue.
Okay. Okay, so Jadragni is the controller form of Agni. It is the gateway to the body, and basically it is Adrava Pitta. Means the Paitika nature is more tilted towards the Adrava nature or Tikshna nature, so that the activity of Agni is maximum.
So you are not audible. There are some technical issues, sir.
Is any issues there? Hello?
Sir.
Any issues there?
No, sir, no issues.
Okay.
Please continue.
Okay. Then Dhatugni is there. These are Dhatu specific. For each Dhatu there is a specific Agni, and it identifies and assimilates the portions based upon this dosha predominance in that Dhatu. So this Dhatugni is functioning for each Dhatu, particularly in that Srodhas level. And Bhutagni is there, and Bhutagni identifies each Panchabhuta elements, or there is segregation of Panchabhautik entities into different portions, so that it can be assimilated by each and every Dhatu. And there is, so that it is better utilized by the body. So this is the core concept of 13 types of Agnis. Now we can consider some of the modern concepts regarding this, digestion and metabolism. So there are many digestive processes involved in this digestion of different food substances. Then there are many factors related to this digestive process. And after digestion, there is metabolic events taking place inside the body. And there are many genetic factors which control or regulate these digestive and metabolic activities. And there are intrinsic and extrinsic factors which regulate. There are factors from inside the body which have some influence on this entire digestive and metabolic process. And there are some extrinsic factors also, like the seasonal variations or the external changes that influence the metabolic activities. So generally the digestive physiology includes the secretions in different areas. There are different secretions in different areas of the GI tract, and there are different control mechanisms for these secretions. Then there are phases of secretions, like cephalic phase, oral phase, gastric phase, intestinal phase. Different phases are there depending upon how these secretions are being induced, what is the stimulus for that secretion. So these phases of secretion and the regulatory hormones for the gastrointestinal hormones that control the regulations, control the secretions, these are very much important. And there are some interactions during digestion, like activation of some enzymes by some another enzymes, the optimal pH level. All these are very much important in the digestive physiology. So there are secretions are at various levels: saliva, bile, gastric secretions, pancreatic secretions, intestinal secretions, then absorption and excretion levels. So this can be just we can consider the different areas and secretions. The after the cephalic phase, when the body gets ready for digestion, the salivary secretions are there. Serous and mucus fluid is there. Amylase is secreted. Lipase is secreted. Amylase helps in carbohydrate breakdown, and lipase helps in lipid digestion. Then when it reaches this stomach, it releases acids, enzymes, pancreas and gallbladder are activated when food reaches to the stomach. Then there is a nervous control also. Then stomach functions for the storage of food. Mixing is very much important. Then the pH is again important. The presence of hydrochloric acid. It protects the GI tract by killing the bacteria by the acidic pH. Then chyme is produced. Then release of pepsinogen, activation of pepsinogen. Then action of amylase and lipase continued from the oral area. So these are the events taking place inside the stomach. Then when the acidic fluid flows into the small intestine, then the importance of bicarbonates, the pH is increased, or the alkaline pH is reached, and there is role for bile, liver, synthesis of bile, and gallbladder storage of bile. And when the bile is secreted into the duodenum, the pH is regulated, and different digestive events are there, like the digestion of lipids, micelle formation, all that. So ultimately there is the process of digestion, motility taking place inside the lumen of the GI tract. Then there are secretions and absorption from and to the intestinal wall, gastrointestinal wall. Then ultimately the products of digestion gets absorbed into the blood, and after when it reaches the blood, then metabolic events takes place. Many metabolic events are there, basically anabolic and catabolic events. Then metabolism of carbohydrates, proteins, fats, vitamins, and minerals are there. Then generally the carbohydrate metabolism revolve around the degradation or usage of glucose. It is stored as glycogen. Again, when it is needed, it is again broken down into glucose, passes the glycolysis process, and enters the Krebs cycle. Then some of glucogenic amino acids are also converted into glucose, and also they enter the Krebs cycle. So they are used for energy. Then the protein metabolism is there. Dietary proteins are there. They are converted into amino acids. Then some of the body proteins are synthesized from the dietary amino acids, and some of them are stored. Some of them are used for the synthesis of products like heme, creatine, hormones, enzymes, etc. Then breakdown products are there. They are again added to the amino acid pool. Then some of them are converted into keto acids and ammonia. Ammonia gets excreted. Then keto acids are used for gluconeogenesis, and also they are oxidized. So these are general activities of proteins. Then lipid metabolism is the lipids are converted into glycerol. Again, glycerol is converted into glucose, and glucose enters the Krebs cycle. And fatty acids are being oxidized. Beta oxidation takes place to render acetyl-CoA, which reaches the Krebs cycle. So these are generally the activities that takes place to each and every food constituents. Lipids, carbohydrates, and proteins, they can be summed up in this picture. So these ultimately, whatever may be the food substance we are consuming, it is used for some or other purposes. And even if you are not taking, say we are restricting the use of lipids or restricting the use of proteins, then sometimes then also you may get the diseases due to that increased protein content or lipid content, because body has a tendency to produce or to tilt the balance towards one side. It is body's tendency, it is body's due to its personal differences or due to the genetic differences. So it is what we mean by the term Prakriti. So each individual has a tendency towards some increase of one or two doshas, say Vata and Pitta or Kapha and Pitta, like that. So depending upon that inclination, his body will be reacting. So by only restricting lipids, you cannot prevent dyslipidemia. So this is the message. And there is the interaction between Ahara, Agni and Sharira. So for a proper interaction between Ahara, Agni and Sharira, we have to follow a balanced intake of food, and there should be proper functioning of Agni, and there should be favorable internal environment also, like the GAT, liver, blood. In all these areas, there should be a favorable environment. So in diseases, what happens is that this internal environment equilibrium is being disrupted, so that the body is inclined towards some of the production of some of the toxic or waste materials. They will be accumulated in the body, and they will interact with some of the body substances and will lead to many reactions. So this is what actually we mean by some of the terms like dosha vriddhi or dhadukshaya, like that. Then ultimately the tissues should be able to assimilate the nutrients. So even if the food products are being digested and they are being absorbed, if it cannot be accommodated in that tissues, then that substance will be subjected to many reactions, and that end products may be toxic or maybe causing some disease. So this is the basic concept of Ahara, Agni and Sharira. How Ahara should be treated very well by Agni to be part of the body. So generally, Agni status is determined. Agni status in an individual is determined by mainly 4 factors. First one is the Prakriti of the individual, and by Prakriti of the individual, we can define the dosha status. Dosha status can be defined based upon the Prakriti of the individual. Not only Prakriti of the individual, sometimes if a disease occurs, then dosha status can be changed. So dosha status is another factor which has a influence on the Agni status. Then Ahara and Vihara of the individual. So there are inherent factors which control the status of Agni. Then there are variations in this inherent mechanism or variations in the dosha status due to some external or internal causes. And there are many factors which cause interaction between the body and the environment that can influence the status of Agni. Interactions between body and the environment. It is included in the concept of Vihara. Then the fuels. If fuel is not good, or fuel is not enough, or fuel is more, then it will lead to some diseases of Agni. So these are the factors which influence the status of Agni. And then the differences and similarities between Agni and Pitta. There is a common saying, there is a reference that Agni Deva Sharire Pittandragada. This means sometimes it is being misinterpreted as Agni is Pitta only, like that. It is not like that. Agni Deva Sharire Pittandragada means Agni can act in our body only through the medium of Pitta. So Agni can act in our body only through the medium of Pitta. Agni cannot act in our body through the medium of Kapha. Agni cannot act in our body through the medium of Vata. Agni can act only through the medium of Pitta in our body. This is what is meant by the saying Agni Deva Sharire Pittandragada. So there are many similarities between Agni and Pitta. Both are Ushna, both do the Dahana and Pachana Karma, and both coexist. Then there are many differences also. Agni is Ruksha and Pitta is Snigdha. Agni is Adrava, Pitta is Drava. Some substances are there which increase Agni and decrease Pitta, like Ghrida. Some substances are there which increase Pitta and decrease Agni, like Matsya. So Agni and Pitta is the property of Drava is the core differentiation between the entities of Agni and Pitta. Pitta is having the Drava or Sara nature. So this can add more to the functioning of Pitta. But if the external factor of Agni or the factor of Agni to act upon the body, act in our body, needs the medium of Pitta. Then the physiological timeline in the functioning of Agni. So our body will be having some preferences towards some type of foods based upon his Prakriti. He will be having inclination towards the opposite gunas. See, Vata Prakriti individual will be having inclination towards Guru food, Ushna food, like that. So these preferences are some misinterpretations are there, some misunderstanding is there, like Prakriti, the similar things will be having, they'll be having preferences for similar things as that of Prakriti. It is not like that. In Prakriti of the individual will be having preferences of the opposite things. Then opposite tastes also. The Vada Prakriti individual will be having taste preferences opposite to the taste that, or the he will be having aversion towards the rasas which increase Vada, like that. So he will be having inclination towards opposite gunas. So if he is taking these type of foods and all, then proper digestion and proper time will be there. Proper digestion, proper time will be there. So his Agni will be working properly. So if he is taking an improper diet due to some external factors or some busy time schedule and like that, then and also some improper timing is there, then this function is again impaired, digestion will be impaired, and there will be change in the dosha equilibrium, so it will lead to a disease. So ultimately the Prakriti of the individual will be having his preferences which is good for his body, and these preferences will be changed when he succumbs to a disease. So when a disease process occurs, his preferences will be again entirely changed. He'll be Vada Prakriti individual will be having some inclination towards Vada, towards Shida food, and it will again increase the Vada Prakriti in that individual, like that. So it is a physiological limit is there when an individual's preference is changed to a pathological way. So this is the physiological timeline of Agni. Then the activities of Agni. So there is different, means not that much clearly defined zones, but there are different zones of Kapha, Pitta and Vada activity. So the zone of Kapha activity has a preparatory function, and it provides the Kledana property. And the Pitta zone is the zone for active digestion, and it provides Dahana karma. And the Vada zone is the controller zone. It decides the gati of the tract or the direction of movement by Samana and Apana Vayu. And the Kapha zone is termed as Amashya, Pitta zone is termed as Pachimanashya, and Vada zone is termed as Pakvashya. So in the Amashya there is Madhura Avasthabhaga taking place, in the Pachimanashya there is Amla Avasthabhaga taking place, and in Pakvashya there is Kadu Avasthabhaga taking place. So this is the zones of activity. And again there are different directions for Agni Dushti, and how it manifests and how it can be managed. So there are 4 different states of Agni, or 4 different directions of Agni Dushti. There can be Tikshna Agni, there can be Mandagni, there can be Samagni, which is normal state, and there can be Vishamagni. So Tikshna Agni means there is increase in Pitta. So increase in Pitta is as much as that it can occupy even the seat of Kapha. Means it encroaches the Kapha zone. So the Agni becomes more Tikshna. And in Mandagni there is increase in Kapha, so that it reaches up to the seat of Pitta. It encroaches the seat of Pitta, so that the activity of Pitta is disturbed or it is reduced. So Agni is Manda. And Samagni means there is equilibrium of doshas, and Vishamagni means there is increased Vada, and it reaches the seat of Pitta, and the activity of Pitta is in dilemma, or it cannot be predicted. Sometimes it is working good, sometimes it is working badly. It's like that. So the Tikshna, Manda, Sama and Vishama states are there, and the most apt formulations are there. Means Tikshna Agni means seat is that of, means it encroaches the seat of Kapha. So better Kashayas have better result there. And for Mandagni you will be prescribing more Churnas. Then for Samagni you have to continue Patya as such. No need of other treatments. Then for Vishamagni, Grida is the better choice or the best choice. So this is the directions of Agni, or different states of Agni and their manifestation and management. Then we can go deep to the Dhatogni portions. So the Poshaka Dhatu, or the portions for that particular Dhatu, is divided into 4 portions by Dhatogni. First one is Thai Dhatu, means it is the Dhatu proper. It is the qualitatively excellent portion of that Dhatu. It is structurally competent Dhatu itself. And Ubadhatu means many byproducts, which are the byproducts of that Dhatu formation. It's termed as Ubadhatu. It does not have that that much importance as that of Dhatu, but it is having secondary importance. Then there is Mala portions. There is many of the elements which have that particular dosha dominance but cannot be accommodated into that Dhatu. They are called as Malas. So these Malas have no function in that area, so they have to be excluded. Then the last portion is transmitted to the next dhatu. It is the substratum for the next dhatu. So these are the 4 divisions of Poshaka Dhatu. So we can apply the different nyayas, Kedari Gulyaya, Khaleka Bodha, or Kshiradadi, depending upon the situation. In some conditions, the Khaleka Bodha nyaya is working properly. Like if you are consuming more grida and your Medo Dhatagni is very good, or you are a Medo Sarapurusha, then most of the Dhatogni Paga will be taken place as the Khaleka Bodha nyaya. In normal circumstances, it will be like Kedari Kulinaya. After Rasa, Rekta, Mamsa, then only it will reach the Medo Dhatu. And Kshiradadi Nyaya can be applied here because all the 4 portions are entirely converted into some remaining portions. So this is the applications of Nyayas in the concept of Agni. Then the functions of Bhudagni can be defined by the segregation activity. Means they can separate things according to the Panchabhudas depending upon the gunas present in that particular factor. See, Guru, Khara, Kadhina, Manda, Sthira, Vishada, Sandra, Stula portions will be divided in the under the Agni of Prithvi Dhatu, Prithvi Bhudagni. Then Drava, Snigdha, Shida, Manda, Mrudu, Kichila portions will be segregated under the Upper Bhudagni. Then Ushna, Tikshna, Sukshma, Laghu, Ruksha, Vishada portions will be segregated under the Tejo Bhudagni. Laghu, Shida, Ruksha, Khara, Vishada, Sukshma portions will be segregated under the Vayu Bhudagni. And Mrudu, Laghu, Sukshma, Slakshna portions will be divided or segregated under the Agasha Bhudagni. So by segregating different Bhuda entities, it makes the body to assimilate them properly. See, each Dhadukni or each Dhadu has inclination towards different Bhudas at different levels, so they can assimilate their portions accordingly. So they ultimately we can give some modern interpretations. See, the activity of Dhatognis. Rasa Dhatogni can be considered in the glucose metabolism, circulation in portal vein, formation of WBCs. All these will be considered under the heading of Rasa Dhatogni. Then hemopoietic system, the iron metabolism, the protein metabolism, heme synthesis and all will be considered under the broad umbrella of Rekta Dhatogni. Then protein metabolism can be related to Mamsa Dhatogni. Lipid metabolism can be related to Medo Dhatogni. Calcium and phosphorus metabolism, thyroid and parathyroid control, they can be together incorporated under the Asti Dhatogni. Protein metabolism and iron metabolism, hemopoietic and erythroclastic activities can be considered under the Majja Dhatogni. Then glucose metabolism, especially the fructose metabolism, then protein metabolism, vitamin E metabolism can be considered under the Shukra Dhatogni. So these are the some of the considerations of Dhatogni. So this is about the concept of Agni. Now we can move on to the applications area. So in application area, we'll be considering 3 things: Agni in clinical practice, Agni in research, and the diagnostic, assessment and treatment response based upon these 3 factors: diagnosis, for assessment, and for treatment response. Okay, so there are three levels here. One is the Agni understanding, second one is Agni assessment, and third one is Agni management. So Agni understanding means for the understanding of Agni, as we have already seen, we need many of the modern clarifications. Many of the areas are not that much clear. So we need more modern explorations on that area. Then Agni assessment is there. So for Agni assessment, we need a dynamic tool. Means we have many tools, but Agni is not a static one. It is dynamic one. So we need some type of dynamic tool to assess Agni. So I'll be dealing with that portion later. Then Agni management. So Agni has to be managed in a multi-dimensional way. Different domains are there. So psychological, emotional, physical, all these domains are there. So Agni should be managed in a multi-dimensional manner. So the lacunae, what are the lacunae and how it can be filled? So there's a reference that Agni should be assessed by Jarana Shakti. So by the term Jarana Shakti, there are some issues regarding Jarana Shakti. Means some individuals will be expressing their Jarana Shakti in a more expressive way, and some will not be expressing that much. So this expressing or not expressing is dependent upon the Prakriti of the individual. So Jarana Shakti has to be cross-checked with the Prakriti of the individual. Then there is influence of other doshas also. See, a disease is a kapha dominant disease is there, and the individual is having Vishamagni. Then the assessment can be influenced by the increased doshas also. Then the dhatu involvement also is there. Agni and dhadus, interaction between Agni and dhadus can also lead to many of the interactions which will lead to some misinterpretations. So we have to define these interactions so that the result is more dependable. So first of all, there is the detection of ama or the diagnosis of ama. It is very much important. But most often there is some misinterpretation regarding, means ama is only a loss of appetite. There's a common belief that means whenever a patient comes, whether you are having good appetite, if yes, there is no ama. If no, there is ama. That is the conventional way, but it has to be changed. Because ama, again, like the concept of Agni, it has many dimensions, and when the function of Agni is affected in different domains, ama can occur. So we have to define, or we have to assess these condition of ama also in a more dynamic way. Then how to know an individual's baseline Agni status? Agni status of an individual or baseline Agni status is dependent upon the Prakriti of the individual, and this to understand this baseline Agni status, you have to get proper questioning, and you have to understand many of the concepts regarding the expression of Prakriti and influence of other doshas on Agni, and also the influence of diet and lifestyle in Agni status. The diet of the individual, lifestyle of the individual also have impacts on the Agni status. So those areas are also important. Then sometimes the Dhatu Agni can be deteriorated in an uncontrolled way when the Jadragni is controlled, or when the Jadragni is managed with your medication. The Dhatu Agni cannot be managed. Such situation can be there. So in that conditions, we have to select the separate or the specific medicines which are apt for that particular Dhatu. Then sites of action of Bhudagni and Dhatu. It's again some of the controversial area, because Bhudagni means generally there is the segregation work, and segregation work means generally we focus on the action of liver or the inside in the blood itself. We can set the action site. And the Dhatugnis are generally acting in that particular srodhas, or in the gateway to that dhatu. The gateway means it is in the srodhas. So these are the general issues regarding the application of Agni. So we have to fill these lacunae in order to get the exact assessment or understanding of, or application of the management of the area. Okay, so just we can move on to the area of one of the dynamic areas, like the concept of Snehapana and its relation with Agni. See, Agni is influenced by many types of food items, and these food items are being expressed by many individuals in a different way. So in Snehapana, we are administering only single type of food, or only the lipids are being administered, and the digestion of lipids can be more or less measured or more or less evaluated in that individual. So this is the dynamic nature of Snehapana, which can be made as a tool for assessing the status of Agni in that individual. Actually, we are doing the same thing while doing Snehapana, means the ascending type of ascending dosage of Snehapana, and by increasing the dosage, we are giving a challenge to the capability of Agni. We are giving lipid challenge to Agni, and whether Agni can manage that dosage of lipids, we can see in the next day, or means after some time. So this is the digestive process. This is the monitoring of the digestive process for some see to the up to the extent of 7 days or 1 week. So means the by observing up to 7 days, we can see the impact of even the Dhatu-Agnis on this, or the feedback of Dhatu-Agnis to the general Agni. And the saturation point is where Agni surrenders to the dosage, means Agni cannot manage that dosage, then there is saturation point reached and the Snehapana can be stopped there. So the Snehapana is a dynamic assessment of Agni, and it can be, or it should be rather developed as a tool for the assessment of Agni. Means actually each clinician is observing or studying the Agni of a particular individual by administering Snehapana. See, different means the impact of different gunas on Agni. Some of the gunas are there which increase Agni, like Laghu, Ushna, Ruksha, Tikshna, Sara, Mrudu, Vishada, Slakshna, Sukshma, Drava. All these increase Agni, and the opposite gunas decrease Agni, like Guru, Shida, Snigdha, Manda, Sthira, Kadhina, Pichila, Khara, Stula, and Sandra. So this is this concept of increasing and decreasing qualities. Qualities which increase and decrease the status of Agni, they can be used as when these are added to these qualities are added to the Gridas, we can observe the changes in the Agni. So the Snehapana evaluation can be done in this manner. So first of all, the drug dosage and the Prakriti or Vikriti status of the individual can be the factors which influence this Snehapana evaluation. The drug used for Snehapana, the dosage of Snehapana, and the Prakriti or Vikriti of the individual. So it is a lipid challenge, and gastric emptying is regulated by consuming lipids only. The gastric emptying mechanism can also be studied. Then more bile is, so the secretion of bile into the duodenum is dependent upon the amount of lipids reaching the duodenum. So if more and more lipids are reaching the duodenum, then there will be definitely more passage of bile. More passage of bile means liver has to be more active to synthesize more bile. And in this way, liver is an excretory medium also. So by secreting or synthesizing more bile, liver is excreting many of its substances which are accumulated in the liver. So by inducing more secretion of bile by Snehapana, we are making the body to excrete many of the substances through bile into the duodenum. Then, so it is actually the systematic induction of Koshtagadi for dosha evacuation. Means we can see the Shakhagadi and Koshtagadi. So Koshtagadi is the one to used to eliminate doshas, making them or adding them into the Koshta, or propelling them into the Koshta, and excreting them by proper Shodhana method like Vamana or Virechana. So we are inducing Koshtagati by administering increasing dosage of lipids. Then those accumulated toxins in the GI tract can be eliminated by optimum Shodhana procedure. Okay, so this is about Snehapana. Then other Panchakarma procedures also. Panchakarma procedures also have impact on the Agni, on status of Agni, and other medications also. See, the Rukshana procedure, generally Rukshana procedures are done to increase the affinity of the body towards lipids. So it is a preparatory phase. Means the secretions have to be controlled to some extent, so that when actual lipids are being administered, body's response is more optimal. So this is the intention of Rukshana. It is done as a preparatory phase and control of secretions so that the optimum response from the body can be elicited for lipid administration. This is the ultimate aim of Rukshana Karma. And in Snehana, means the external Snehana Karma and Swedana Karmas, they are used to re-establish the homeostasis by increasing GI secretion. Means we are inducing sweating by Swedana Karma. So if some 10 to 20 minutes sweating we have induced, then the body will try to cope up with the heat loss. It will try to increase the gastrointestinal circulation so that heat loss is more heat loss is prevented. So more and more secretion, more and more circulation will be there in the GI tract. This will again add to the secretions inside this GI tract. So this also will contribute to the Koshtagati in that individual. Then Vamana and Virechana, the optimum method means optimum level of motility and secretions are used to make the body to expel the unwanted things in Vamana and Virechana. And in Nasya, there is sensitization of nasal and oral mucosa so that the optimum immune response can be elicited. See in the first slides and all, we have seen the immunity level action of Agni. Means first identification and all. So the oral and nasal mucosa have a role in the functioning of Agni. So this indirectly Nasya also contribute to the normal functioning of Agni and all. Then Vasti, there is ENS and INS activation, and also the gut microbiome activity can also be regulated. Then by administering Payadikrama, there is the regaining of functional capacity of the GI tract by administering a gradual course of Payadikrama, like very light substances are taken initially and more the complex substances are being taken later. And in many of the dosha shamana treatments, there is a definite guna interaction between the target organ and the medicine. So there is the guna has to be focused, the guna of the medication should be focused so that it can reach the target organ. So this is means only if it can bypass the barrier of Agni, then only it can reach the target area. So this is the importance of Agni in different treatment areas. Okay, now there are some connections between Agni and Prakriti. See, Prakriti is the backbone of the individual. He will be having a definite pattern in his body so that he is more inclined to that particular types of activities, that particular types of characteristics and all. So based upon that Prakriti backbone, he will be having a doshic pole, means there is constitution of doshas inside his body, and based upon this his body constitution, body elements are being synthesized from the food consumed, from rasa to different dhadus. So this is the Ayurvedic concept of expression of Prakriti and synthesis of ahara based upon, means synthesis of dhadus, dosha dhatu malas from ahara based upon his Agni and Prakriti. And in modern perspective, there is the genetic code. It is translated into RNA, and proteins are synthesized from the amino acid pool, and all these proteins have a control in all the body activities, directly or indirectly. So this is very much important. Proteins control all the activities, entire activities in the body in some way or other. In some, any of the key enzyme will be there, or any key hormone will be there, or any of the substratum will be there. So any protein may be there in a particular pathway. So no body function can be completed without the involvement of proteins. So this is the basic concept of Agni and Prakriti connection. To elaborate this one, see the protein synthesis taking place inside the body. It uses the protein dietary amino acids, amino acids taken from transamination reactions, amino acids derived from protein catabolic. So all these amino acids will be collected as a amino acid pool inside the body, and protein is synthesized from this amino acid pool. So different types of amino acids collected from different ways will be added to the amino acid pool, and this amino acid pool is used for protein synthesis. Similarly, there is a kapha dosha pool inside our body, which includes a kapha portion from Madhuravastha Paga during Ahara Paga Krama, then kapha portion derived from Rasadhadu Mala, then kapha dosha portions derived from other dhadus. So all these kapha elements will add to the kapha dosha pool. If more and more rasadhadu mala is there in that kapha dosha pool, the activity of kapha will be affected, because more qualitatively less qualitatively incapable elements are being added in as mala. So this will add to the some of the kapha diseases, kaphaja diseases. So this is the pattern of expression of Prakriti, or synthesis of substances based upon the Prakriti and Agni of the individual, the pattern in as per modern perspective and as per Ayurvedic perspective. Okay, clear? If you are having any doubts, you can ask. Otherwise, we can move on to the last portion. Any interaction?
Interactive section and on the slide, sir.
Okay. Last. Okay.
Yes.
Okay, so lastly, we can consider some of the recent advancements in this area. First of all, there is a concept of personalized medicine or personalized medicine advancements recently. Then gut microbiome studies related to Prakriti also. Then some other focus areas also there. So gut microbiomes, and there is psycho-neuroendocrine immunology is there, which defines the connections between psychology, neurology, endocrinology, and immunology inside the body, so that there are multiple networks which will ultimately lead to the end product, will decide the course of the end product. See, if we take one, say, a combination of drugs. So this combination of drugs will work in different ways. Some of the elements in that drug will be activating some of the gastrointestinal enzymes, or some of the gastrointestinal factors which can add to the, which can be more or less catalytic activities. And some of them will be having a neuronal stimulators. So they'll be having their impact on that level. And many of them will be absorbed directly into the blood, and in the blood they will be metabolized into some of the elements which have some immunological impact, like that. So ultimately the action of this product will be the sum of, or the totality of the entire pathways which are being triggered by the contents of this particular drug. So this is defined as the concept of psycho-neuroendocrine immunology, and by following this method we can reduce the dosage of medicines, because the low dose medicine can get better results when used in a systematic way. Then personalized medicine and Prakriti is there. Then multi-targeted drugs, it is more related to this PNEI, and it can end the era of one target, one disease philosophy. Because most often there are many complications, many side effects for this directly targeting drugs. So in future we'll be more focused on the multi-targeted drugs. Then there is genetic engineering and antisense approaches there, which focus on the blockage of this genetic synthesis. If any particular substance is there which causes a disease, the synthesis of that particular substance is being blocked by optimal medications or optimal methods. It is known as antisense approach. So this is these types of genetic engineering methods are some recent developments. Then the area of network physiology and systems biology, considering the computational modeling to apply in medical field, these areas are there. So these are the recent developments regarding the areas. Now we'll focus on the Agni assessment tools available. See, these three tools are available. The first one developed by Kishore Padwardhan et al. It is a tool to assess the Agni Bala status of the individual. Means we can get results as to whether he is having Vishamagni, Mandagni, Tikshnagni or Samagni. And this is a short questionnaire. It can be run particularly in the setting of colleges and Ayurveda colleges, not because many of these technical terms are there in that inside that tool. So to run them in the public for the public, sometimes it is difficult. And second one is a questionnaire used by Ishwaran et al. And it is a lengthy questionnaire. It is some 59 questions are there in that questionnaire. So it is difficult to use in clinical settings. And third one is a questionnaire or a tool developed exclusively for Abhindra Snehana. So it cannot be used anywhere else. For Snehana, for Snehabana use, Snehabana purpose, this tool can be used. Then Prakriti assessment tools. Many Prakriti assessment tools are available. These are some of them. One of the software developed by CDAC Pune, known as IUsoft. Then recently CCRS developed one software. It is being validated now throughout the country. Then TNMC questionnaire is the Topiwala National Medical College developed one questionnaire. Then Kishore Padwardhan et al. One self-assessment questionnaire is there. Then Sanjeev Rastogi, also based upon some guna factors, some questionnaire is there. So these are the major assessment tools for Prakriti. And recently I have developed a tool for clinical use, Prakriti assessment tool for clinical use. It is published in IJAM, International Journal of Ayurvedic Medicine, a Web of Science Index journal, in September 2021. And in that, I have developed a tool which is very short. Only 8 aspects are there, which is having a good agreement with TNMC and IUsoft questionnaires. So for practical purpose, you can use this questionnaire because it is not that much time consuming. It is very 5 to 10 minutes only needed to take the assessment. Some calculations are there which needs more time, but to interact with the patient, you need only less time. Then these calculations are there, and also you can directly get the Dwandaja Prakriti results. You can get, most often you will get Vada Pitta or Vada Kapha or Kapha Pitta scores as the most dominant one. So you can directly diagnose the Prakriti as Kapha Pitta or Vada Kapha or Vada Pitta. See, for this purpose, I have taken the gunas of each dosha, the gunas of Vada, Pitta, Kapha, and among them, I have selected 3 gunas which are very common, or I have mentioned them as primary gunas. This is Ruksha, Snigdha, Laghu, Guru, Ushna, Shida. These I have selected, and these interactions between these gunas I have taken for the development of this tool. See, regarding the taste preference, for a Vada Pitta Prakriti individual, Laghu guna is common between Vada and Pitta, and Madhura is the opposite guna to both Vada and Pitta. So that individual will be having more liking towards Guru and Madhura substances. So one of the Guru and Madhura substances like Mysore Pak or Peda is a Guru and Madhura dominant substance. Then for a Kapha Pitta Prakriti individual, Snigdha guna is the common one. Snigdha is common to both Kapha and Pitta. Then Kashaya and Tiktarasa are opposite to both Kapha and Pitta. So he prefers Kashaya and Ruksharasa kashaya and ruksha substances. For example, biscuits and chocolates are more kashaya tikta oriented and more ruksha nature is there. Then for a Vadakapha individual, there is Shida Guna in common, and there is no Rasa which is opposite to both Vada and Kapha. So he generally prefers Ushna. So he'll be more inclined to take more hot tea, hot coffee like that. So in my questionnaire, I have asked this question as such. If it is administered as directly as a self-assessment questionnaire, in the Google Forms I have mentioned as like this: from the following items, pick your most preferred item. So if a Vada Pitta Prakriti individual will take the option A, a Vada Kapha person most likely will take option B, and Pitta Kapha individual most likely will take option C. So this is only one of the question, and it's not 100% correlates with the Prakriti, but 70 to 80% this question has agreement. And if it is administered by physician, he can be given these following options: sweet, cold, and oily for Vata Pitta, and pungent, hot, sour for Vada Kapha, bitter, astringent, and dry for Pitta Kapha. Okay, so the clinical management of Agni in relation to with Prakriti. First of all, you have to consider Prakriti, identify the gunas involved in that particular condition. Then you have to look for the status of Agni, the possible interactions and consequences with the dosha and dhadus. Then target the dosha with the opposite guna. Whatever may be the medicine or panchakarma procedure, you target the dosha with the opposite guna that increased there. Then consider secondary dosha and secondary guna also. It is the essence of personalized medicine. So this is the concept. This concept is the essence of personalized medicine. So to conclude, the management of Agni in personalized medicine can be followed by using these tips. Follow Prakriti-wise diet and lifestyle regimen so that you seldom affected by a disease. Then do precautionary panchakarmas if necessary in then different susceptible areas or susceptible seasons. You can do precautionary panchakarmas. And in a disease, manage the inherent dosha first so that Agni is corrected automatically. Some misclassifications will be there, like Agni or disease may have some misinterpretations. So in that instance, manage the inherent dosha. If that individual is Kapha-Pitta individual, then manage these doshas first so that Agni will be automatically corrected. Then keep an eye on gut health also. Gut health in the form of gut microbiome and integrative approaches like PNEI, so that the concept can be clearly applied. The personalized management of the individual, personalized management of Agni, and personalized medicine can be developed in Ayurveda. Thank you all.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir, for such a wonderful lecture and guiding us on this topic by a knowledgeable presentation. Again, thank you so much, sir. Now comes the time for interactive section. If anyone has any query or any question, he and she can unmute and ask his or her question. Anyone? Please unmute yourself and ask the question. I think there are no any questions.
Hello, Dr. Abhilash sir.
Okay, sir.
Nice lecture, sir.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Very elaborative and informative regarding the Prakriti, Agni, and more related with the modern parameter. You have prepared some assessment criteria regarding the 8 component, and you have written lower side as the 24.
Yes.
So please make elaboration how you have written as the 24, sir.
1 minute. I will. So I'll share the screen.
Yeah, your assessment, the weighted scores you have written over there. Na?
I will explain. I will explain. Clear? Visible?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes,
Okay.
sir.
So these 8 characters are there, and for each character there is response in Vada, Pitta, and Kapha versions. So for these, for each category, you have to give the grade 0, 1, 2, and 3.
Okay.
So 0, for if it is absent, you can give 0. If it is doubtful, you can give 1. If it is evident, you can give 2. If it is clearly evident, you can give 3. So if 8 items, all of them are having 3 grade, 3 into 8, 24 is there. So maximum score is 24 for each dosha. Okay. So means if you are giving skin dry as clearly evident, this A1 will be given as 3. So in the calculation, instead of this A1, you will use 3, like that. So this A1, B1, these scores will be given from the chart.
Okay, sir. Okay. Nice, sir. One more thing, sir. Does the microbiome, gut microbiota, have get differentiated? Is the Prakriti or any its relation with the Agni?
The many studies are there. I have not collected them. Some 6 or 7 studies are there regarding Prakriti and gut microbiome, and also some 2-3 studies are regarding Agni, status of Agni in gut microbiome. So I actually didn't collect one. You can get from the Google itself. Otherwise, I will send the articles, the reference.
Okay. Nice lecture, sir.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Someone
Now I would like
hand raised someone.
Yes, sir.
Okay, you can ask.
Sir, I am a PG scholar of final year, MD final year.
Okay.
Sir, there is a question. You said that Agni and Pitta is different, and Pitta is having Drav gun. And while explaining this, you have said that Agni is increased by Drav gun.
Agni is increased by Dravaguna, I didn't say. 1 minute. Which one?
Sir, no. Next one.
Okay,
After
yeah.
that, Yun and Agni.
Increasing factors and decreasing factors.
Yes, sir.
Okay. This one. No, not this one.
No.
Okay, no. This one.
Yes, sir.
Okay. This is when compared to the opposite guna, it is more having more influence on Agni. Means compared to Sandra guna, Drava increases Agni, like that only.
Dravaguna is opposite to Agni, isn't it, sir? Sarvda Sarvbhavanam Samanya Vriddhi Karma, according to that.
It is okay actually, but the issue is that when compared to Sandra guna, Sandra is more thick and means compared to that Sandra guna, the quality of Agni when come to the GI tract, the Sandra guna will be decreasing Agni and Drava guna will be increasing Agni.
Okay, sir.
Means Agni is acting inside our body through the medium of Pitta. So Pitta, influence of Pitta will definitely will be there.
Okay, sir. Okay, sir. Thank you, sir.
Okay.
anyone else? I think there was any more questions. Thank you, sir. Thank you for answering all these questions. Now I would like to invite Dr. Prasad, sir, Associate Professor at KRIYA SHARIR Department, NIA Deemed University, for word of thanks.
Thank you, Dr. Bhanuji. We are pleased to listen the lecture of Dr. Abhilash sir. I am very, very thank you, sir. In spite of that, I thanks to our preliminary premier institution head and the Ministry Ayush who has given me the opportunity to do such a program continuously in every month you have to do. Thank you, Ministry of Ayush and Secretary Vaidya Rajesh Kotecha sir. And after that, initiating leadership, honest and enthusiastic director and the VC who is providing to me such a opportunity, the platform to do it the better way, to upgrade your department. I am happy to listening that our department going to doing very well. And this is the credit go to our VC, Professor Sanjeev Sharma sir. Thank you, sir. And leadership of department, Professor Dr. Chajuram Yadav sir. Thank you providing the such platform and the such learned and devotee speaker, Dr. Abhilash sir, and that man, Dr. Chajuram Yadav, doing very well and providing the we people opportunity and the chances to do the better way. Thank you, my HOD, Dr. Chajuram Yadav sir. And after that, guest speaker Abhilash sir, who has delivered very well, nicely, in the discriminate way, lecture on the topic, concept of Agni with the special reference to gastrointestinal physiology in relation to Prakriti. Very unique topic. He has covered the three aspects, Agni, GIT, and the Prakriti. Very few subtopics he had listen, but earlier we have the here the topic in Prakriti and the Agni. To some extent, GIT and the Agni. And then there is the three components they involving this elaboration of topic. Thank you, Abhilash sir, providing me this such wonderful lecture. Thank you very much. I hope in future we will get benefited from you. I think so. Thank you, our department team, Dr. Anu Pratap Singh, Dr. Sarika ji, Dr. Rasmi ji, and our PhD scholar, Dr. Rasmi ji and Ardik ji. They are going to continuously uplifting our department. Thank you very much, our faculty and our PG department students. There is no existence of we people other if the students are not going to be the perform such activity. Thank you very much. Our PG scholars, we are doing the continuously their work from morning to evening or late evening. You can say thank you very much. And in spite of that, thank you to all. And the certificate, we are running the certificate course of the Prakriti. And thank you very much, who students who are going to be the communicated and they get benefited by this lecture. Thank you very much, our certificate course student. And thank you to all, directly and indirectly, who are going to be involved. And thank to our media, Facebook and the YouTube media people and the system who has given to the platform to elaborate and disseminate this lecture. And thank you to all who have going to involve this lecture. Thank you very much. Hope Abhilash sir, in future I will get benefited in one more things. Thank you, sir.
Okay, thank you all.
Sir.
Okay.
Thanks all participants and our speaker, sir. Thank you for your attention. See you soon. See you soon.
Okay, thank you once again. Thank you all.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. भानु जी,
Yes, sir.
एक बार सबका वीडियो करके फोटो ले लें. अभिलाष सर.
और participants,
Yes, sir.
सर एक बार अपना सब लोग वीडियो खोल लेंगे.
Okay.
एक बार स्क्रीन ले लेंगे हम लोग.
Okay.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, sir.